Welcome back to Pembertons Farm Balham Road Dairy Farming for episode number 6 with me, MrSealyp. We're back and we've got work to do on our small field. I'm testing something different out with my microphone setup today, so we'll see how that works out. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be okay. I keep thinking of the Blink 182 song, All the Small Things, because we've got to get some small stuff. One of the local contractors, Hydra, has recommended swapping out the trailer. There's a Reich one that's a large capacity, but I think it's shorter. We're about to find out if it's shorter. I think the wheels are at the further back, double set, but I think it's shorter and a little bit taller, which might be a little bit better for getting in and out of our gateway. So I'm going to sell this. I can't remember how much that one is. I'm sure it's about, it could be 20 grand, but yeah, I'm just trying to work out, can I get a haul, a full lot? I need to get a mulcher, a cultivator, a seeder, possibly a fertilizer spreader, and a new trailer. Oh, I've got to finish that contract as well. I've got 72 grand left. I just finished off that weeding contract that I had, which is there. So we'll complete on that. 1,133. Massive money. I'm looking at possibly another baling contract, but if I do, that'll probably be off camera. Actually, you know what? I might have to look at. Where's the one that paid out quite well? That was just hay. There was a silage one because the silage bales pay out a little bit better. I'm gonna do that. I'll take it on. Like I say, I'll do it off camera. Sometimes if you decide you're going to do them or then you don't do them, you can always fail the contract. You don't have to complete it. If you take it on and decide, actually, no, I don't want to, what are we going to get for this? 14,700. So we'll sell that. What have I done? What have I done? Small machinery haul. That's what we're doing today. And then we'll get over to our field. We'll get it mulched. We'll get it cultivated. Hopefully the cultivator I'm looking at is a shallow cultivator. It should be. Stop there. What I'm. Oh, I've just realised I didn't look at the equipment, did I? I did say on some of the fields some of the equipment was quite large, and this one's got a Xerion with it. And I know I did. Someone did point out. The Xerion contract, when you've got the mowers, front and rear mower, there's no PTO on the front of the Xerion, which we'll put one on. We'll do a farmer's bodge, we'll do a gaffer tape, and it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. We'll see what happens there. So, have I got enough room for my stuff to spawn at the end without me having to move any of this gear? I suppose that's the next thing to check, isn't it? What I need to do is go to here. Turn that off. Right. So, can I get it all for the money I've got? Mulcher. I've been looking. I've been searching, scouring the interwebs. We've got this 1.8 meters. I don't need anything massive. It's a small field. If I start building up and I get bigger fields, then we'll look at maybe getting bigger stuff. But for the time being, that's all I need. 2 grand. We'll have that mulcher sorted. Cultivator. We've got these Harrow version things. Should be shallow cultivation. Now I've got a 3 metre, a 4 or a 5. To be honest with you, the 5 metre is only 1,500. I need to make sure it folds. Will I get that through a gateway folded? It's not too deep that way, so turning through a gateway should be fine. Tyres on it. Adds a little bit more, doesn't it? It gives it a bit of something. Bit of gravitas. So I change the colour of the frame. It's adding more on every time I do, but I meant to do that, and then 1,800. Let's buy that. So what we're up to, 3,800. Looking good so far. We need a seeder. And I've been looking at these. I'm going to get a Kubota one. That's new to this pack, I think. 3 metre wide, 60 horsepower required. Be a little bit more expensive if I go for the 1,250 litres, which I think I will. 11 grand. But for a 3 metre seeder, mechanism cover? Do I want a mechanism cover? No, I'm alright with that. Disc markers, no. Rim colour. We'll go with Kubota orange, I think. Let's buy that. Actually, I think we're gonna be alright. We're going to blitz this with the money we had. What else did I say I needed? Oh, fertiliser spreader. Now, at some point, hopefully, we'll have access to... I'm going to speak to Pembertons. The thing is, they need their slurry and they need their manure for their fields. I can't suddenly say, oh, if I get myself a little muck spreader, can I come and help myself to... I mean, maybe later on down the line, when it's the animals, if they've produced loads and loads and loads, and there's so much of it, an abundance of it, then maybe I can. But for the time being, I think that would be a bit off. So, I'm going to get that, the Roush. Again, if I go for the extension, 1,500, it takes the price up 800. It's not very much, is it? I think I'm going to leave the main colour as it is. Do I want to change it to a sort of more terracotta? It's more money on. I'll leave it as it is. So 1,500 litre. Again, small fields. I should be fine. We'll buy that. That's all I need to get started, don't I? What I am going to need, though, is we're going to need some seed. And I'm going to need some fertiliser. So, we've got these, the solid fertiliser bag. I'm just wondering if I've got any access to any of these ones that we had before. We have 2,700 for 4,000 litres. They're still... solid fertiliser is still quite expensive. But the seed one, I'm going to get one seed bag for that. That's going to last me absolutely ages because I've only got one field to do. And the other option then is out on here, farm supplies, which I know I said I'm going to try. I said on the previous, at the end of Silver Run, I'm going to try and use mods I haven't used before, but there are going to be some things. I think this was one I specifically said I'm still going to keep using. Fertiliser pallet. So, did any of those things say there was no space for them? Let's put the first three there. Mulcher, cultivator, seeder, fertiliser spreader. Did it come up saying there wasn't any space, or was it put it down this end? Oh yeah, we're down here. That's right. So our seed, our fertiliser, yeah, that's right. So I need to start off with the mulcher. I'm going to take both down, I think. We'll take the mulcher and we'll take the cultivator. So I'll stick one on the front, one on the back. We'll go and get that done first. You can tell it's October, the light's starting to go. I did have a few people message me, some people talking about the fact that on here, as you get into the winter months, it does get really dark. It doesn't sort of get particularly light for very long. That's something we're going to have to deal with. I am still thinking, I know, like I say, it would be churlish to do it unless one came up. I was looking, I keep looking. Yeah, the used, so that's now come up as a used vehicle because I just sold it. But yeah, I keep looking on here for used tractors. And I'm then looking at the small tractors to see what we got available. And I can't remember what we got. They belong to farm. I was just thinking of, I have to say, on Silver Run, I loved that. That Volvo BM was brilliant. I haven't got the money to get that yet. But I might have a look and see. Like I said, I'm just keeping it on the second-hand market. Maybe for something a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter, and a lot cheaper. So for doing jobs, because this is, like I said in the last episode, it's a chunky tractor. You know, I want to say it's a big tractor compared to something like the Zerion and stuff. No, it's not. Obviously, it's on a scale, but then on the scale of equipment you can use for a particular area, it is a fairly large tractor, I guess. And if I want to increase my fleet of vehicles, then that's what we'll think about doing. So we'll get this on, we'll get the mulching done, the cultivating done, hopefully we'll get some seed in the ground. We've got to the end of November. I think I'm going to put wheat or barley in. Again, only because it's a small field. We're not going to get a huge amount of stuff off of it. We're not. But what we should be able to do, will leave us with some straw, which if we can then sell straw bales to Pembertons, or if by that point if we've got any animals that need them. But it makes sense to have it, I think. Anyway, that's the plan. I'm still, like I said in the last episode, thinking about live streaming when I do the mowing. I might even do it tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, isn't it? Myself and MrSealyp, we're not out tomorrow for Valentine's Day. We are going out Friday night. I think most of our kids are Valentine'sing. I'm not sure if CLG's working, but anyway. So I'm going to be around. So I thought what I might do is not Valentine's Day stream. That's, you know, we're going to go all romantic and mushy. We'll put some lovely music on, light some candles, and we'll do some mowing. No, we're just going to. I thought I said about maybe broadcasting, and because it's one of those jobs that's got to be done. It's going to take a long time, and I thought we could just have a chat, you know. Who's into Clarkson's Farm Series 2? Myself and MrSealyp started watching the other night. I think we're quite a few episodes in now. We kind of binged watch a fair bit of it. I think what I'll do here, I'm going to drop this in the lane. Just there. We'll mulch first. If I can get with it on the front. I think that's the problem, isn't it? But absolutely loving it. And I have to say, if you haven't watched it, if you're not watching it, if you watched the first series and loved it, you'll love the second series. It's just as good, just as funny, if not more. But there's what I like about it as well is all the seriousness to it. I mean, there wasn't the first series. I know he has a reputation, and because he can be a bit bullish and a bit boorish and a bit, you know, and people don't warm well to that. And sometimes he comes across a bit arrogant, and you know. And it can be a bit rude, but what he is doing and has done is highlighting real issues and problems that farmers are experiencing at the moment around the world, but in the UK especially. And this series is no different. The thing to do with tuberculosis in cattle and badgers and stuff, honestly, it's terrifying. You know, local farmers losing, you know, once they get a case of it on the farm, the animal in question has to be put down. If it spreads quickly, the rest of the animals that get it have to be put down. One of the women on there, they had a herd of 120 cows, 60 of which had to be put down. You don't get your money back. You can't sell them. That's halved their herd. And the crazy thing with it being, and I understand the logic initially, because there was a thing years and years ago, back in the sort of 60s, 70s, 80s, badger baiting. And it was, you know, it's horrific and a horrible way to, you know, to do anything really. But the laws are brought in to protect badgers and badger populations because of that. You know, I totally understand that. But the world's a different place now. I suppose because the law was changed. But there's a big difference between farmers needing to sort out badger problems when it's like that. When you know, it's their entire livelihood. Some farms are just packing up shop. They're just done. But, you know, you lose most of your herds. You know, you haven't got the money to buy more. You've lost all of that potential profit for that year. You're done, you know. And they were saying on there that the law needs to change, and there needs to be a clear differentiation between people that get caught potentially doing, you know, horrible things like badger baiting, and people that are having to. And around the world, it does happen. I know not everyone likes it. It's part and parcel of life. Is part and parcel of farming and agriculture and kind of thing. Anyway, yeah. So watch it. It's just one of those. I'm not ranting. I'm just. You know, it's just on my mind because we watched it last night. I thought while I'm doing this and we're talking, so we get the rest of the mulching done. Then we'll jump on here. We'll get the cultivating done. Then it'll be the fertilising situation. Liming. That's a good point actually. I didn't think to look, and I'm hoping it's going to be the case. I didn't look to see whether or not the fertiliser spreader I got does lime as well. It does. So we should be able to do our pH and our nitrogen with that. Once we hook up and we get it in there, it will tell us what our levels are. We should set it as a fairly standard level. I know we shouldn't touch the nitrogen. So we shouldn't do our fertilising until the seed's in the ground. I'm sure that's the way around we're supposed to do it, isn't it? Because depending on what crop you put in the ground will depend upon how much nitrogen they can add when you've got seasons on. I'm trying to remember, it's been such a long time since I've run precision farming. But wasn't that the FS19 version? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah. See you in a bit. mulching's done. Haven't done the cultivating yet, but what I thought I would do is start moving all the equipment over. I started driving over and thought, you know what I should have done? I should have got some lime, because I need to lime first. If we go into that one, onto our precision farming map, you'll see now obviously field 9, that's not relevant anymore because I've paved over it, but field 10, our pH level is in the yellow. We want it to be in the green, so I need to put some lime on there. Our nitrogen's in the red, and obviously that needs to be improved, but that will be done once you put the crop in the ground, and that will then be able to work out, if you leave it on auto, what it's going to require. The same with the seed rate. Now we've got in barley, it will automatically adjust the seed rate depending on the ground, the soil type. It should give us a potential yield. So our seed rate will tell us, depending on what type of ground it is, what seed rate it's going to be running at. We're running on loam, so it will adjust them for low, standard or high depending on the ground, and so hopefully that's the plan. So I've got a bag of lime. This is, I want to say it's a 4,000, but it might be an 8 actually. I can't remember what it was. Again, from that selection, if I turn my thing off here, potentially. Oh yeah, field info's off. I'm not quite sure why. Yeah, it's an 8,000 litre bag. So again, it's going to last me ages. So what I'm going to do as well, I've brought down the van, as you can see, with our vans here. I'm going to load up all the spares, because we've also got that pallet of herbicide that we bought for doing a herbicide contract. So I need all of that taken over to, well, I mean, I suppose I could leave it all here, especially herbicide. If I'm going to do herbicide contracts and stuff, then it would make sense to leave that here maybe. But if I'm going to be doing my fields and things like that with seeding and lime and fertiliser and stuff, that probably needs to go to the farm. So we need to load that into the van. We'll take it over to the farm, although I can't unload it when we get to the... that could be a problem. So what we'll do, it says application rate at the moment is 0 because there's no values detected, but not in the field. It does say it's on auto. I'm not going to fiddle around with any settings. I'm going to leave it on auto. I'm now looking at that class with those mowers. I thought I'd move those out of the way, and that's a big old unit. So if we have the same problems we had last time trying to get into a grass field, what I might have to do is take the styer over, get each piece of equipment into the field, then get the class in, then attach it all up. I don't know how else to do it. It depends on the field, of course. I think that contract's on field 3, if I recall. So we'll have a look when we get here. I don't know if to have the map open at the bottom. I might do. Because I haven't done precision farming. Did I start doing it on Obeleron? Did I do precision? I can't remember. I know I did all the testing on there, my videos on there. And I started doing Obeleron Let's Play, but just, I don't know actually. I was struggling with it for some reason. I can't remember why. I was asked about mine's gone blank. Not Felsbrunn. I wasn't doing Felsbrunn. It'll come to me. But the map I was doing with the little, all the little farm tractors, the little farm museum type thing. I did say right from the start I wasn't sure how that was going to go, and I kind of went back onto it because I was enjoying the play rather than the map. And I've said a few times now, the map was a bit too restrictive in the fact there were so many elements and parts of it you couldn't buy the land. There were so many things you couldn't do, and it kind of restricted it. I felt a little bit too much. That's my feeling. I know some people have said that about this, but again, because of the land purchasing, how you go about buying the land, and people feel that potentially it makes this a bit too restrictive. I think I'm just enjoying playing on it, like I said, because it has a relevance to me, because I follow Tom Pemberton's channel. I guess. So once we go to the field now, there we go. So we've got values detected now. So that's going to tell me, or automatically to the checkered flag top left, how much it's going to put down. So hopefully, I can't remember what this is set on. How wide the spreading is. That would be very wide. I'm spreading I can do I'll do my entire field in one pass. Although that being said, it's used everything I had. Okay. I'm going to have to go back for more. That was quite scary. Yeah, so let's put it somewhere in a ballpark. I mean, I say that's set in somewhere between the 6.5 and 6.7, or maybe up at 7. If I'd have thought about how wide that was going to go, I would have just put myself right in the middle and just driven straight across. Right, I'm going to go and get some more. I'll get that done. Then I'll see in a minute. We'll get the cultivating done. Then the seeding. Then we'll fertilise afterwards. And then we should get our application rate down for that. I honestly didn't think it was going to go down that fast. But I suppose it's only a small spreader, isn't it? I should have brought the bag up. So what I could do now, I'm really hoping, that at the store, they've got a forklift available. Fingers crossed, you never know. There we go. So if we look now, precision farming, bottom right, pH value is perfect. Nitrogen's not at the moment, but that's fine. We'll get to that. And now that same crop type sorghum, that's on the previous crop, so that at the moment is, yeah, it's basing off those figures, but it won't be. So let's go and load up. I'll bring all the stuff back over, and then we'll get the other bits done. So that didn't go exactly to plan. They have got a forklift down there, which I was going to use. I was going to record myself using it and loading things up and all the rest of it. It was all going to be wonderful. The Rumbler van does have an auto-load function, which I had put to miscellaneous. And I thought, well, I'll just load the pallets into it, load the bags into it. I couldn't get the pallet to go in the back. I couldn't get the bags to go in the side. It just wouldn't work. So I've switched it to auto-loading big bags. So I've got 3,000 litres of lime, but I can't load up my lime spreader from the van, apparently. It's not letting me anyway. So what I'm going to do is just unload here. That was interesting. And worrying. Because if that's not a 2,000 litre thing, I've lost... Oh, it is. Oh, I wonder why it's 2,000 litres then. Does lime normally come in too? Anyway, regardless. So what I'll do is once I've loaded up again, I'll do my last little bit, then load the van back up, take it all over there and we'll unload. And I'll have to just store my lime and all that kind of stuff separately. It's a little bit easier obviously because it starts off in a big bag which is 8,000 litres and it's one bag. If I deliver it like this, the problem is then it's going to be 8 separate containers. Well, it won't be 8, it'll be 4 when they're 2,000. Anyway, like I say, it was supposed to work slightly differently, but it didn't. But it's not the end of the world. I'll work out a different way. I mean, like I say, if I get a... Oh, I remember what I didn't buy. What did I sell? I said I needed to replace. Let's go back in. Let's have a look in the brochure. It was my trailer. I sold my trailer, didn't I, to buy a new one. And then on my list of things to buy, completely forgot. So I'm going to get the Reich RT160, I think. Now that looks a lot shorter. It looks shorter. 16,000 litre capacity straight off the bat. Options. Oh, so having that capacity gives it a... So if you have the bale trailer, that's 18,500. Which means I can switch it to a bale trailer at some point if I need to, which is going to be quite handy. We do have that, and I think we've also got that we can go larger if we want to, which would be great at some point, but we can also use it as an animal transport as well, which would be quite handy. It's a very useful bit of kit. So massive thank you to our local contractor, or one of our local contractors, Hydra. I think I'm going to leave everything exactly the same. So that's going to be 22,500. My previous one I just sold for 14 something, didn't I? So I completely forgot to buy that. So yeah, money has gone down a little bit, but that's just because I just forgot. Simple as that, I forgot. Right, if I stick myself right in the middle here, and then we drive out from this edge, we should be okay. And that should be the lime done. I'll get the lime loaded into the van, then we'll get that unloaded, and then I bought all the stuff over. The cultivator's there, the seed is there, and I think, oh yeah, this will then be this will be for fertilizing, won't it? I'm liming at the moment, but it will be for. Let's see how quickly we get through this. There we go. A little bit left in there. So what I'll do, if I unload this from here now, like that, we can load the van up, and then that frees this up for doing our fertilizing once I've done my seeding. That makes sense, doesn't it? So what I'm going to do is leave this by the side of the field, just right over here, out of the way. We'll load the van up, get the cultivating done, and then we'll crack on. So, fingers crossed. There we go. Last little bit from there. It makes the van very handy, I have to say, but I think I kind of used to really enjoy loading it up. I recall doing that, I'm sure I did. Oh, I think I've opened the van door, the side door as well. PlayStation controllers. I'm hoping I'll be right for the seed. Fertiliser, I'm going to have to go and get some. Hopefully I won't use as much of that as well, so I'm going to leave that there for the time being. Oh, did I leave the lights on? Yeah. Right, let's get that done. Let's grab the cultivator. I'll close the gate and get the cultivating done. Before the end of this episode, I will have this field hopefully good to go. Oh, I don't have a roller yet, actually, that's the point. I didn't actually look at rollers for rolling afterwards. I mean, I could release one. I can't remember if I've got any. Oh no, I thought I had some small rollers, like normal little, like the concrete round rollers. I'll have to look and see if we can get a set of those. We'll get a set of rollers to roll it afterwards as well, just to make sure we completed the job. Right, so this was 5 metres, wasn't it? But folded, which should be good as gold getting through the gate. I'm looking forward to trying out the new trailer to see if we can get him through our gateway into the yard. Whoa, what happened there? I do like the look of this. But it's better with the tyres on as well, I think. And this should be a shallow cultivator, so this shouldn't. Like I said, I'm not too bothered about my what's the word for it? My environmental score. In honesty, I'm not going to try and get it to 100. I'm just going to do my jobs. If it goes up, it goes up. If it you know, I was going to try and avoid cultivating entirely. It might have been Hydra that messaged me about that as well, or Schultz modding. A few of the guys in the Discord have been kind of helping out. A few guys that have been doing precision farming pretty much since it came out. It's something I haven't really done a lot of since then, really. Had messaged to say, oh, if you shallow cultivate. And if it wasn't one of those guys and it was somebody else, if it was you, if you're out there watching, it was you, I apologise. But thank you for the heads up. That shallow cultivation shouldn't affect your environmental score. But like I say, I'm not overly fussed if it does. A direct drill probably would have been a better option, but there aren't that many direct drills in smaller sizes. There probably are. I'm not saying there aren't any. I'm just saying there aren't that many. Let's do that. And I wanted to get that little 3 metre Kubota seeder. I thought that'd be quite cool. Haven't really used much Kubota gear. Anyway, right. As you can see, I'm cultivating. Next job, let's get the seed in the ground. So what I need to do is unload the van. I'll whiz back over, grab the seed, bring that back. So I do need a toolbox. I'm going to use the Schultz modding toolbox mod, the one I've used before. I did think about putting in a workshop. There are a few actually. You know what? I might look at doing that. I know. I just like the Schultz modding one because it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's perfect for what I need. You can put it down wherever you want. I know on multiplayer you can't move it around, but normally you can. You can stick it in the back of a vehicle, take it somewhere else if you want to. But maybe I need to get one with a little lift or just some ramps or something. I don't know. Maybe that would fit a bit better. I just know the other one. It's inexpensive. It ticks all the boxes. Seed time. I brought over the rest of the seed. I've moved some of the fertiliser over at the store Because again, if I get any fertilising contracts come up, it would be handy to have some at the store just in case I need it. So variable seed rate. Let's start that up. We're doing barley. Saying auto. Are we planting? That's interesting because that's saying 0 seeds. Why is that not showing anything? Let's double check that. Alright, so it's saying seed rate low on there. That's what it's showing. It's just not showing on the actual seeder for some reason. That's alright. At least it's doing it. I thought I'd better check on the map. You never know. I probably could have, if I'd have thought about it, could have leased a plough maybe and ploughed out a little bit more, closer to the edges. But that's alright. We'll leave it as it is. Note to self for next time. Maybe, hopefully by next time we get around to doing any seeding and plant, we'll have bigger fields or another field, or there are some bigger ones available, so if we can make a bit of money, we might be able to. And then hopefully when we come to put down our nitrogen, the nitrogen will adjust based upon the fact we put barley in the ground. If I could do a couple of runs round, then that hopefully will give me enough room to manoeuvre, and we'll go from there. Right, so seed in the ground, I'll see in a minute. Once the seed's in the ground, then we'll check on this nitrogen thing. I do like precision farming, it's that thing, I don't know why I kind of shied away from it again. When I did it on, it wasn't 6 Ashes, what was it? What did I do it on? Attingham Park. I was doing precision farming, I'm sure I was. And I loved it. Because doing it like this, you don't have to do much. Oh, it's now showing, look, there you go. The top left, it's got the low, from the lowest one. Yeah, I really enjoyed doing it. Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? How your mind goes, oh yeah, but, I don't know why I've been kind of avoiding it. We are still precision farming. We're being as precise as possible. Small equipment, precise and precision. So once we get into the field, we should get... Boom, there we go. Target reached? Really? What's target reached? I haven't put anything on there. Oh, there we go. There isn't anything on the ground. How have we reached our target there? So what I need to do now is try and work this out a little bit better than I did last time. If I go to about there, because I think it's just going to spread out to the same width. I mean, I could just change the width, of course. That would make life a little bit easier. So let's go forward. And we should be able to get around the whole lot. I'll leave that. And because I've only got a narrow strip left to do, let's knock that down a little bit. I'm trying to think which it was. Is that and that? I'm going to have to open that menu up, aren't I? Because I can't remember. Off the top of my head. Off the top of my dome, there we go. Probably to there. Should be right, shouldn't it? What's that bottom corner done then? That's very odd. Very peculiar. So, what we should have now then is, if we go onto here, got to watch out for weeding, haven't we? Weeding. So, our environmental score's gone up to 61. Hallelujah. So, we've got low seed rate. Soil type is loam. pH is saying perfect. We'll check that in a second. Nitrogen is now saying, hopefully, perfect. Yield looks like it should be up there. We're hopefully going to be looking at 105, 110%. Wonder why that hasn't gone up to 125% then. So we've done everything it says we need to. We put it on using the auto application rate. My environmental score increases my sell price by 3%. Yeah, bottom right. pH value perfect. Nitrogen perfect. Expected yield. Oh, that's 123%. Yield potential 125%. So that's pretty good. We'll be happy with that. Like I say, it's a small field, but we should get more of it than we got last time. So yeah, all that's left to do really on here now is roll. I don't have a roller yet, so I think I've done everything I set out to do. Shall I get the roller? Shall we get the rolling done before we finish this episode? I should really, shouldn't I? We'll sort out a roller. I'll see you in a minute. We'll go and get the roller. I'm going to drop this equipment off. So all of it's stored in there now, and it does also mean now that I've got this, if we do get any fertilising contracts come up, we can jump on them with our own bit of equipment. I think over at Pembertons, I think they've got a fertiliser. They've got is it an Axis? I can't remember what they've got now. I could have just said, can I borrow yours? But I don't know them that well yet. It would be a bit forward of me, I think, to do that. So yeah, we haven't done that yet. Again, I'm hoping this is all recording fine. The mic situation. For anyone that's interested, I've been using a headset and mic for as long as I can remember. And on my PC, the few times I've streamed and done stuff on PC, I've got a Rode mic, an NSB. It's a USB Rode mic on my PC now. When I was on PS4, I'm sure when I bought it, I tried to plug it in and it wouldn't work. So I never tried it, so I've always continued. Now I don't often have sound coming out from my headphones, I have it coming out from the TV. So really my headset's and mic was just for using the mic. Probably need to move that over a little bit, I think. I'll do that in a little while. And for some reason I had another one of those bizarre moments in the night. I woke up and thought, I wonder if I could plug my Rode mic in using the USB to the PlayStation 5. Now bearing in mind I've had the PlayStation 5 now a year and a half? Or was it two? I'm trying to think how long I've had it now. Plugged it in this morning, did a test, and it worked. And I was like, why have I not been doing this the entire time? Another reason was because my headset and mic, I've got a Turtle Beach something Elite, Atlas Elite I think it is. And I really like them and it works really, really well. But one of the earpieces wasn't working. I did something the other day and I was getting no sound coming out of it. I noticed that sometimes the mic cut in and out every now and again, so I thought I'll try something else. And I was going to go online and just buy myself a new Turtle Beach headset. They're like 90 odd quid or 100 and something pound now. And I just had that sudden middle of the night, I wonder if moment, you know. So as it's transpired, I could have. Now what am I going to use least out of all of these? Mulcher maybe? I might get cultivating contracts come up, so if I move some of this forward and put the mulcher at the back, I can always come and get that at a later date. Anyway, yeah, so I have a fiddle around. I'm going to go and get the a roller sorted out. Because I'm just going to get a rolling roller, you know, just a little drum, concrete filled metal cylinder. And there's loads to choose from, so I'm not quite sure which one I'm going to go for. But what happened there? Whoa, no, that's not like that. That was strange. If I just drop it, it does that. Lowering it down, it flipped up for some reason. Odd. Odd, odd, odd. I have brought my trailer up with me. I have got a lizard ring roller. There was an option of a 3 or a 4 metre. I originally picked up the 4, drove out the yard and suddenly thought, I'm not going to get through gates with that. And as it turned out, crossing a little bridge, I was only just about, I had a little bit of room with the 3. So for all the 3, the 3 metre aficionados, the 3 metre cultivator cult that's out there, you know what? Hey, this is one of those maps that needs it. It needs the 3 metre gear. I think I can run this on the front or the back. I'll try on the front, but let's get all the lights on. Pretty sure I can. There we go. So we are now rolling, and then what I'll do when I finish this is we'll see if we can get our trailer into the yard easier. Probably shouldn't really do that. Should probably lift it and turn. So that'll be this field prepped and good to go. Obviously we'll get weeds at some point. I don't own a mechanical weeder. We could lease one, and we'll have a look. There aren't that many weeders available actually, but we can see. I was looking also at a sprayer unit, and it was one that came out a while ago. I can't remember who it was by, but it's on a Massey Ferguson, an old Massey Ferguson tractor with a sprayer unit on the back of it, like a boom one. So potentially for doing herbiciding, but it wouldn't hurt to have a mechanical weeder to start off with, really. So we'll see how we go with that. Trying all different things. I've been looking at a few different tractors as well, different tractor options. I know on Fruling was the word I was looking for earlier. On Fruling, I had just bought a Ford, which I could bring over. I could get that. Well, it's the Ford, but the Lizard 10 series, the Ford. One of those. There was a New Holland TR4 version that seemed quite short, quite stocky. I quite like the look of. And what else was there? There was another one I was looking at. I mean, there's a few. There's a little drop-nosed Masseys. There's a few drop-nosed Deutz-Fahrs. There was another one that I thought looked quite cool. That was quite short. Oh, the AB. You know, the little AB four-wheel steer. The little Lintners, the Lintner 90. They're a little bit more expensive. They're over 100 grand. I was looking to get a cheaper tractor, considering, like I said, this cost 3 grand. So, although looking at it, I am going to need to do some work on it fairly quickly. But anyway, so as far as precision farming goes on this field, it's all worked out absolutely perfectly as we needed it to. We have prepped everything, right from mulching through to rolling. We are good to go. And then the next episode, I think I'll probably will stream. It'll be the mowing. We might do a bit of tedding too, but you know what they say: those that mow together grow together. That's that's the thing, isn't it? It will be for Valentine's Day anyway. So I'll finish this. I'll see you in a minute. Let's see if we can get our Reich trailer into the yard. It can't be any worse than the other one. The CLAAS did seem quite long. It was a little bit lower. I do have the ability on this one to make it a larger capacity. I think I could on the CLAAS as well. I had it on the smaller capacity, but I think I can get the higher sides on this and take it up a bit more as well. So we do have a bit of scope for increasing our capacity with our trailer. I'm also hoping when we get on to doing the silage contracting and the contractors come, we'll have multiple trailers hopefully to choose from. The rolling is done. We're about to find out whether or not it's made a difference. I honestly don't mind if it hasn't, because in all honesty, I've got a larger capacity. I think the other one was 12,500 and this is 16,000. So if it won't go into the yard like this, then I really don't mind. This will be better because the wheel's at the back, so there's no back of the trailer to swing. I think. I don't know. Saying that, I don't know. I don't think it is. You know. No. Thought it would be better. Let's see if we can get closer to the fence here then. Maybe that's some of the problem. I wasn't quite far enough over here maybe. Coming out's no problem at all. It's weird, isn't it? This will probably be easier for reversing in, I suppose, as well. Let's get as far over as we can without hitting the fence, because we know that causes untold problems. Let's get a lot further that way. There's that. Maybe we will. We're in. Get him. Thank you, Hydra. It just needed to be a little bit more. Considering this episode is all about precise farming, it worked. So, let's knock over some more cones. Oh, they're all stood back up again. That's good. Oh yeah, because I had to go off and look for a ring roller, didn't I? Stuff's all back in. I can get the van in there as well. We'll get that over this side. And because this is a little bit shorter, I can get the tractor all the way in. The other one, the tractor was sticking out a little bit. Not that matters. It's not the end of the world, is it? Lights off. Let's go and grab the van. Get that parked. Like I said, off camera, I'm going to do that silage contract, silage harvesting contract. Silage harvesting? Silage baling contract that I've got, so I can whiz off and do that. But we're doing alright, I have to say. Got some new gear. Oh yeah, I've left the ring roller. Where did I leave that? Oh, I just put that up there. It's just off the side of the track there. I'll go and grab that later to come back over as well. But we're looking good. We've got actually, I need to look at the chicken situation as well, don't I? It's about getting some chickens in. Because I've got some feed, I can give them sorghum, so we can get a few. Like I say, just a handful. We're not going to go like hundreds and hundreds, just enough to get a few eggs, you know. So that's where I'm going to leave this episode. I'll probably see you into November, and we are going to be, it's going to be third cut because of the time of year. Yes, for me it's my first cut of doing it, but it'll be the farm's third cut of Pembertons. So we'll get the cut done, we'll get the tedding done that needs to be done, and then we'll be moving on to the silage side of things, which is going to be the windrowing up, the collecting, the delivery, putting in the clamp, compacting the clamp and all that, which that's what I'm going to need the silage contracting crew for. So we'll see how that goes as well. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed another episode. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.